All right, what's going on, y'all? It's D-Mac. I'm here with
Sihan.
Roller, Mont, Shamir.
and this is just a few guys and girls on the team who are doing really well and have been able to build the skill set and mindset that it takes to make 5 figures a month in the business. So we're gonna start off with you, Shamir. You just came out to Atlanta for what? It's been almost 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
type shit. And so, what do you think is like the biggest difference that you've been able to build skill set wise and mindset wise that you didn't have remotely, and that has resulted in your production this week? And what have you produced so far this week?
This week I'm at I think 2.7, and then last week was like around 6, so like 8 in total. But the main thing really is like having somebody to hold me accountable and having people that like I can go to in action. For example, like if I'm at home and I'm on a call, something happened, I gotta call you, wait for you to get back to me, or ask somebody else. That happened in the office. I can literally go to anybody, ask for help, and get help right there on the spot like this. So that plays a big factor. The discipline aspect, my bed is not right there. I can't get my bed, lay down when something don't go my way. I gotta stay grinding. You right in front of me, so I can't really like you. You really hold me accountable, like even with my energy, my tonality. As soon as you see something, you always take account and say something about it. So that plays a real big factor, and it really just discipline.
Okay, that. And like skill set wise, like on your actual calls, what do you think are some things that you improved on a lot? That you weren't doing prior.
Tonality that got way better, energy that got way better too.
And real quick, so can you like elaborate on why is tonality and why is energy so important on phone calls, especially since we're doing remote sales and we're not face to face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that matters a lot because this business is like it's energy transfer. So if I get on the phone with somebody and I'm all down and I'm sounding depressed and stuff like that, they're not gonna want to talk to me. They're not gonna want to give me their information. They're not gonna want to bond. As simple as that. So if I get on the phone, I'm happy, I'm joyful. That's it. Like even for example, if somebody energy is down when they on the phone and I get on the phone and my energy is up, it might bring their energy up and I might get a close from that. So that's why tonality and energy really matters and play a huge factor in this business. So
Type shit. And then outside of like those two things, those are kind of like you said, energy, tonality, the way that you're carrying yourself. What do you think are like some strategies that you've been using on your phone calls that are kind of helping you out as well?
uh, not having a lot of dead time, chopping it up with the client, building rapport, and just getting the client on a path where they just talking about themselves and just rambling on about what they got going on in their lives. I can just build off of that. That plays a huge factor as well.
Okay. Facts. Now, but one thing that really matters for those of you who are in the business, not in the business, is your guys' energy, right? And everything is an energy transfer. So when you're in sales, communication is a huge thing. And if you guys are carrying yourself a certain way, you don't sound confident, you're not transferring good energy, you're not positive, you're not trying to be of service to the people that you're calling, then you're not going to close any deals, right? But you sound genuine, you sound like you care, you genuinely do care, because at the end of the day, to make money in sales, you simply just got to be a service to everyone. I think that we can all agree that that's kind of like our mindset when we're on the phones. You know what I'm saying? Being a service, and then naturally you get compensated, you know what I'm saying, very well. And I think somebody who does that very well is Sihan. And Sihan, I know that you kind of really had your breakthrough month in October when you did 40,000 for that month. So what do you think that build up was like? How many months did it take you to be able to do that? And like, what was your mindset prior to doing that, and then after you finally were able to do it?
Yeah. So my mindset kind of like when I wasn't producing as much. I feel like I didn't really believe in myself, and so I kind of would carry every phone call and just start off with the mindset that it was gonna not end up in a close. And that's how it was for all my phone calls. And I kind of just really got tired of it. There was, I believe, one week where Deborah told me to hit 20,000, and I told him I didn't think it was possible at all. And then after that, I kind of just had like some self-reflecting and realized that really I can't expect to make as much money as I want to make if I don't believe in myself, because you really only have yourself. You're the only person that's going to show up for yourself and really have discipline. And so I kind of just had a shift when it came with that. And so after a while, I got into the phones expecting to close every phone call. And from there, I was getting, closes back to back. And that also built up my confidence in its own way. And it's really important, as they talking about it before, like that energy transfer. If you have confidence, it'll have the client trust you a lot more as well. Because again, if you have confidence, you know exactly what you're talking about, and you're able to guide them and what makes the most sense for them. But yeah.
Facts. Nah, and then like honestly, that just comes down to the confidence aspect. and being able to actually hit these high months just comes down to seeing big to be big, right? Whatever you see, whatever you envision yourself doing is, the limit that you'll be able to go to, right? And the best thing that you can be in this business is delusional. Like I know, now everybody sitting here is delusional, in their own way, and that's exactly how you have to be. Like for example, who in here is the number one closer right now?
Me.
100%. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That's exactly the mindset that it takes. And there's more than enough table for all of us, you know what I'm saying? To be able to eat, to be able to make money. But at the end of the day, there's only one spot. But regardless of who has that spot, we all believe that we're capable of that, which is why we're able to get these results, right? So, one of the biggest things that, if you don't already have that type of mindset that you'll have to overcome on your journey to success is simply just seeing big and imagining yourself to be capable of doing these things. Because if you think in your head that you're not capable of closing, you're not capable of becoming a top closer, well, shit, your ass isn't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you think contrary to that, you think that you're the best in the business, you can be one of the best if you're putting in the work. Naturally, you're gonna find a way in order to accomplish that. I know that was, my mindset. I know that's Seahawks mindset, Roner, Mir, and Lamont's mindset. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, Lamont, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, man? Good. All the way out here in Atlanta from Cali. So, what made you push up here to Atlanta? And shit, you finna move. You 19 years old. You finna move from Cali to Atlanta. Stay out here for like a year or two. Really build some wealth for yourself. So, what do you kind of see for yourself out here? What potential do you see in the business, and what ultimately is making you make that decision?
True. For me, I mean, it's not really a limit. Like, it's just come out here, make as much money as possible. But, coming out here is going to keep me locked in and all that. Like, keep me, everybody in the office going to hold you accountable. Everybody making more money. You're going to want to be around the same people that's making money. You're going to want to do the same thing. You're not just going to want to, like, just sit there and be the only person not making money while everybody else is making money. Getting all these crazy cars, new crazy whips and cribs and stuff like that. So yeah, just out here to do the same thing basically. Obviously build a skill set and stuff like that while you doing it.
Type shit. Say no more. And I know for you, Roner, you have me on TikTok shit in January. Your ass barely decided to tap in a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? But I know prior to getting into this, you were messing around with Amazon FBA, doing some e-com stuff. So what do you think are like the main differences between, doing that and the success that you've seen from that versus doing this and the success you've been seeing, the past 2 months and, moving forward?
Yeah, with ecom, I was running under Amazon, and with Amazon, you're running under their platform. So like any little inconvenience that goes on, like a customer report, like any little minor inconvenience or whatever, Amazon just quickly hits you with a fat, like little thing on your account, and then that just ruins your whole business. With this, like it's your own personal business, and you're running this whole thing all by yourself. And this is like an actual skill set you can like move on to the real world, because like everyone need to learn how to communicate with people. Everyone need to know psychology and get you in like with bigger connections. So with sales, it's a whole lot of opportunity with this. And then with like ecom, you hit like one little potential, and that's it. You have to either switch business models or make a whole new account, just run it up again. Like, so yeah, a whole bunch of opportunity in sales.
Okay. That's say no more. I know, like, with sales, you really gotta. Sales is more than just selling the product and making money. Like, sales comes down to you actually learning the skill set, and for you to learn the skill set, you gotta be asking the questions, you gotta be putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be putting in the unseen work, the after hours, and pretty much like revolve your whole entire life around sales and go all in. And then naturally, after you go all in, you know what I'm saying, you start balling, you start really seeing the fruits, you know what I'm saying, from your success and from the work you've been putting in. And I know for you, Ronner, you pretty much been all in damn near since the jump. So like, what do you think? Like, you submitted what, 3K today
Yeah.
alone? So what do you think? Putting in the work after hours, just being all in, working on your craft, asking the questions, listening to audios, all that good stuff. Like, how major is that, and what has that done for you? And like, what have you seen within yourself? Up to this point, to the amount of success you've seen in this.
Yeah, with asking so much questions, picking everyone's brain, that definitely helps you so much, especially being in the office. With being at home, you won't have all that, but you don't even see potential in yourself. So like every time we're out here, you text us every day, tell us in person. You always like remind us like all of our potential. Like even though we might not see it, you always be like, yeah, like if I say how much, you ask us how much are we gonna make in a week, and I say maybe around 6 or 8 thousand, you're like, man, you making 10 to 15. Don't downplay yourself like that. So, like being in the office definitely helps that. And with all like being here, boosted all my momentum, my motivation, everything like that. Just makes me produce even more. So like I got so much confidence, not letting clients talk over me, getting that doctor client relationship and all that. So it definitely like boosts everything just being out here. So I'm planning on, moving here by next year.
Okay, type shit. And what had ended up making you tap in? Because like we know there's a lot of courses and like mentorships online and everything like that. So what kind of made you tap in with this, and what's kind of making you stick and stay with this? What we're doing rather than some other business models you're thinking about trying, or people who try it.
Yeah. So I have, one of my close friends, she had bought this little course from, a big major guru in the ecom space named BSM Fredo. And with that, it's a high ticket course. It's around like 4,000. She did a little monthly plan. She paid like 2,000 something. And overall she paid like 4,000. And like she joined that course, they got like all the little guys or whatever. And then she asked a question, but they taking like 2 weeks to respond to her. With this, like I got in, you always make every day you text me, make sure everything's straight. Everyone's reaching out, make sure I'm good. I like, and even though you don't respond, like yours probably take like a little cool 30 minutes not to respond. I just ask someone else, they quickly get back to me. And I'm sticking with this because like there's so much potential in this. And then with ecom, like everyone's just like they're not really true to what they say. They just show little numbers. It's really not what it is behind the scenes. So like, that's the real difference.
And like what do you mean it's not like real behind the scenes?
It's like they'll like fake all this stuff. So like they'll get little numbers probably all the way when ecom was actually going crazy, maybe in 2022. They'll reuse all those photos and make it seem like they're actually making money just to sell off their course. And all the money they really have right now is all straight from courses. Because I know Fredo himself, like she told me that he don't even make money off his course, like, or make money off dropship anymore. He just purely courses. And right now he has like people in his program. They're recording videos for him. He's not actually putting the work himself. So he's literally making money off these people. And but they're not even paying them. Like it's getting crazy over there.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I would say like for those of you who want to join the Closers Playbook and be a part of what we're doing right now, the link is going to be in the bio. But people ask me all the time, like they'll comment course 7 wooty wooty whoop. Now I have courses to help you become successful, but I don't sell a course. You know what I'm saying? I work with people one on one. I work with people directly, and people who promise you 5-figure months, you know, in just one little course or some shit like that, and you actually believe that, yeah, that's actually slow. You know what I'm saying? Because again, making money is honestly very simple, but being the person that you have to be to make this type of money is very, very hard. That's why, making sure all my guys are held accountable, make sure, all my guys are able to see big, to be big. Like all that stuff is very important because it's not about the money because the money's easy to make. We can easily build the skill set. But the person behind the skill set, the person who's waking up every single day and being consistent, building up their momentum, like that takes a lot to build. It takes a few months to build. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be doing things that you weren't doing before. Because, when I was in college, 18, 19 years old, going out every single day, waking up late with my friends, smoking, drinking, doing whatever in the world I felt like, like that. I literally can't live that lifestyle anymore because that lifestyle did not result to anything that I have today. That's simply just because what I do right now is completely contrary to what I was doing at that point in time, right? I'm up every single day. Every single time I do something, it's an income producing activity. It's an IPA. And if it's not gonna make me income, I'm really not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna mess with it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, my goal is to get paid, and not play. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was doing when I was back in college. But once I kind of realized that, and I actually took action and made it a habit because everything is uncomfortable at first, right? Like you guys can all agree, waking up early, hopping on was all uncomfortable. But now, like, can you guys really imagine going back, you know what I'm saying, to how you were before? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. And I know you.
Hell no, bro.
Nah, but with that being said, Rona, I know you had said that that she had bought a course. So like, what do you think is the biggest difference between like the mentorship that the Closers Playbook offers versus like a course that you could see online that you can buy that you can easily fall into the trap of?
Yeah, with the course, like it's just a it's like a set in stone thing. Like they have it, you buy it, you go over it, and that's it. Like with this, like you join, there's so much resources. You join, you get that, you get some one-on-one help every day, and it updates. Like there's always new things getting added. So like it's never gonna be one set in stone thing. Like it's always changing, always adding more things to help newer agents, new people coming in, even people that's already experienced. Like there's just so much resources and the one-on-one help, especially like that's a big part. Because they don't even communicate with anybody in the little Discord thing they have going on.
But since what have you been out here for about 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Yeah, or almost 2 weeks. But since you've been out here, what do you think this trip, skill set wise and mindset wise has done for you? What have you built up? And I mean, bro, you got shit a 3K day today. You know what I'm saying? So kind of just talk about the things that, allowed you to do that today.
Yeah, with the skill set coming here, I did build up that doctor-client relationship. That helped me a lot, being a leader for my clients. If you have a doctor prescribing medicine, you won't obviously, tell them no, like, why would I need this? They'll obviously know they need this, to get better. So I'm telling them why they need this, why it's like makes sense for them to get this. And, not building too much rapport, letting them talk my ear off and not rushing my calls. That's the main thing, for me. Rushing my calls as soon as I master one skill, then I start like rushing my calls, trying to get that closed. But now, like building rapport, but maintaining that dark client relationship, 100%, building my whole game being out here until I got that 3K day today.
That shit. You know what I'm saying? Good shit, without a doubt. That doctor-client relationship is everything I know for you. You know what I'm saying? That was really kind of the one missing component, you know what I'm saying, that allowed you to kind of really up your skill set. And with sales is all about being the solution to a problem. So of course you got to be able to highlight that problem, point out what the problem is, which is why, like, if you work with me, like, we're very big on pain points and, needs analysis to understand what they need and what their pain may be. But of course, with having the solution, you need to carry yourself as if, you have the solution, you're the expert, you're the professional, right? So again, like Ronald was saying, if you're going to the doctor because your knee hurts and your doctor suggests something to you, you're not going to tell them no. You know what I'm saying? You're going to listen to what they're saying because they're the expert, they're the professional. So that exact same dynamic that doctors have with their clients is how, we want to have that dynamic with our clients, right? We need them to know, we need to carry ourselves in a way to where they know and they can feel that we understand exactly what we're doing. We're the experts and we're not going to guide them in any wrong direction just because everything we're saying makes sense, is tailored to the situation, and we're saying it confidently. But keep running it up. You had a big day today. I think, on the whole entire agency's leaderboard right now, are you in second or third place?
I was second, but, someone just had to do something. But right now I'm in third.
Okay. Who took the second spot?
Quick to say me.
Okay. But I know you guys been having a little rivalry going on, so let me see what you got to say about that.
I just gotta say that they're just not gonna be number one on the leaderboard this week. Maybe number two. Hopefully number two, number three, number four, but not number one.
All right, man. I know you don't like that. But I know, a part of our culture, like, what I'm saying, I can say that just being competitive is like big, with our culture. We're all former athletes. The good thing about this business that we're in specifically is there's more than enough money on the table for everybody, right? What we sell is life insurance. With this, we're just selling a lump sum of money, through a policy that if someone were to ever to die, their beneficiary, whether that's their daughter, son, grandchild, whoever that person will be, will get that money to take care of any expenses. So, because death is something that's inevitable, it's always going to happen. It's a necessity-based sale, but it's also recession-proof, right? Because there's never going to be a cure for death. People are always going to die. So that means that our service is always, necessary. We're always going to be able to sell the service, and it just comes down to being able to have leads, of course, and people to talk to, because opportunities is everything in sales. But also, just being able to emotionally get your client involved and be able to promote urgency, right? So, when they think about life insurance, they want to make sure that, so-and-so is going to be protected financially if anything were to happen. You see people start GoFundMes and stuff like that. When something does happen, we want to prevent that for our clients. And, that's the reason why they would inquire about that. So if we're able to paint that picture of what that situation would look like, if they didn't have what we sell, which is an insurance policy to prevent that, then automatically they're going to be emotionally involved. They're going to feel, like this is an urgent thing. And, just being able to create urgency, being able to highlight the pain, and of course, to be the solution using the doctor-client relationship is everything. You know what I'm saying? So I know, like I said, the big thing about this is we're competitive. So Mira, what would you say? I know you're a real competitive person. What would you say that, just being competitive has kind of done for you, and what I'm saying, just how that shit is every single day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in this team right here that we got, we all got a little friendly competition going on from Seahawks to Rover to Dev. Every day we going at it and going at each other and seeing who could close the most, push out the most deals, everything like that. But just coming from a competitive background with all my brothers and stuff, video games, sports, basketball, whatever it was, I always want to be the best in anything I do. I know you seen that, like, for example, when we was working out that one day, I ain't want to quit. I wanted to go ahead and get that last rep out, but like, it's just like it initiates a fire in you, and it's like it motivates you to do better when you see somebody doing better than you, obviously. So, for example, like I'm in the office today. I had a pretty rough day. He closed 3 deals. He was talking and stuff. It made me, it motivated me, initiated that fire, and I went ahead and I pushed out a deal before we left. I did what I said I was gonna do. So just like that competitive edge, it's always good to have some friendly competition going on in the team. Helps a lot, 100%.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And I know, like you had said some. I know today you had a rough day dial wise, just because you didn't get your first close until 6 p.m. today, and you dialed since 8 a.m. So as a closer, there's going to be days to when you come in, you close 2 deals before 12. You know what I'm saying? But what's really going to separate you is your ability to stay available. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have the same energy, the same effort, in the same mindset of being of service, and just transferring good energy to your clients throughout every single call. So regardless whether you close in the beginning of the day or the end of the day. So I think one thing that you did that was fire, Shamir, is just staying consistent throughout the whole entire day, even though you weren't getting anything. And then finally, the fact that you stayed available, and you had that hungry mindset and just attacked, and really got that deal pushed out. You know what I'm saying? You got rewarded. And with sales is all a numbers game. It's all volume based. So the more numbers that you give yourself, the more dials that you make, the more opportunities that you have, the more likely you are to close, right? Because volume mitigates luck. So for example, had you have not dialed until 6, you wouldn't have closed. You know what I'm saying? So you got the opportunity, you got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Because you played the numbers. And same for you, Ronald. You came in, had a 3 band day today, and you closed off of 2 deals that you had to follow up off of, right? And because you've been giving yourself volume every single day, you were able to, get lucky by calling people that you've already talked to, you know what I'm saying? And you were able to close them just because you just been calling, having so many opportunities, following up with these opportunities and being persistent, and then you end up putting 3 bands on the table, and that shit gonna deposit tomorrow, that shit gonna feel good, you know what I'm saying? But keep up the good work, you know what I'm saying? You're still fresh into the business, doing big things, so without a doubt, good stuff. And yeah, man, another big part of this business, you know what I'm saying, that nobody's gonna tell you, is just the self-belief aspect and just having, tons of confidence. So I would say that, like, out of everybody in here, who's like the number one producer, or who's gonna be the number one producer tomorrow?
100%. I'm doing that.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
So yeah,
Oh, because I don't need to say it. I already know what's going to be me.
That's me tomorrow for sure, 100%.
We see. Numbers talk.
It's gonna
They don't
talk.
lie.
It's gonna talk.
We can see.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, but at the end of the day, it can only be one top producer, right? Everybody in here just said that they was gonna be the top producer. But that just shows you the mindset, the self-belief, and the delusion that you have to have. And naturally, if you believe that, if you think of yourself in that way, you're gonna figure out a way to become that top producer. And again, it's all friendly competition. We talk shit, but at the end of the day, we all getting paid. It's all fun. We all getting better every single day, and that's the beauty of this business. But you got to see big to be big. Whatever you see yourself doing is what you're going to accomplish, or what you're going to find a way to accomplish. So if you're putting a limiter as far as to what you could produce or what you could be, bro, naturally you're going to fall below that limiter every single time. But if you think above and beyond about your potential, what you can be, you're going to strive, to reach to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, you could ask anybody, like, and I know you guys can agree, like if they ask me if I can do something, I'm going to say yes. Or if I see something that I want to do, I'm going to go and do it. And I don't think that nothing can stop me. You know what I'm saying? And I know that y'all feel the exact same way, but it's that mindset, that allows you to do these type of things. So, remember to see big to be big. If you want to get in this business, close the playbook link in bio, closeplaybook.net, click on that. But, be a believer. Like, if you don't believe, if you got limited beliefs, this is not going to be for you. Because, if you a chihuahua with some pit bulls, you're going to get ate up. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the top 1% for a reason. 99% of people on the earth can't be in the top 1% just because it takes a different type of person. And this person is, consistent, hardworking, but ultimately believes that they can do anything. And self belief is a superpower, especially in this day and age, social media and everything going on. People think they can't do certain stuff when, literally anything is possible when you put your mind. And I know, one person in here that really is a dog and got a lot of grit is my boy Lamont. And, Lamont, you 19 years old right now?
Yeah.
So Lamont got his first apartment at 18 years old. You've been doing this for a couple months now. And I remember, prior to that apartment, you was living at home with your parents, with your siblings, in which you had to dial in the garage at one point in time just so you could have like a space with no noise.
Oh yeah.
So, Lamont was down in the garage during the summertime in Cali, and for anybody who's been in SoCal in the summertime, you guys know how hot it gets. But he's literally sending me pictures talking about, "Hey, I'm down and it's 96 degrees in this garage. I'm hot as fuck, but I'm still working." And he did that shit for 2 weeks and end up running up a bag and end up getting his own credit. You know what I'm saying? So, Lamont, during that time period, what was your mindset? And what were you doing to be able to what was your mindset to be able to accomplish that?
Yeah, so like you were saying, believing in yourself for sure. That's a big thing because, I believe, I was able to do it, but it came down to, showing up, knowing it was going to be 95, 96 every single day. Showing up, staying consistent, having dial blocks, having your times where you take your breaks, of course, making sure that you're actually doing everything you're supposed to do, like it's a normal work day. If you were in the best condition, like, you working in an office with air conditioning like that, treat it like it's the same way. And if you show up every day, stay consistent and do what you gotta do, then you just gonna see results with doing that. So
Facts. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but you put your head down in this business, you build your skill set every single day, you ask the questions. It's truthfully only a matter of time until you get to that point. So I know, all of us that here are at that point. We kind of overcame that block. And I'll say really the biggest thing is just becoming the person that you have to be in order to make this type of money. You know what I'm saying? Closing the policy is easy, right? It takes us 20 minutes at this point to make a man. And runner, what? It took you, 5 minutes to follow up with that lady? Close the policy, now you're depositing the advance tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really light work at the end of the day. But being the person to be able to make this money and make it look easy is the hard part, right? So waking up early every single day, filling up your whole entire schedule with IPAs, income producing activities. That's something that you weren't doing prior, which is why you put yourself in this position to be able to do so. But you just gotta make it happen. Before I ended up getting into this business, I was in college, messing around with the homies, going to class, like literally doing everything other than making some money. Door dashing whenever I needed some. You know what I'm saying? I was donating plasma, just everything contrary to what I'm doing now. But in order to get to the point to where I'm at now, I literally had to realize, okay, I'm going to college, I'm doing all these things, but I want to make money. What is the best way to make money? Let me learn a skill that will make me money, and let me just put my whole entire schedule towards making money, right? Everything I do is an IPA every single day, an income producing activity. And because I focus on income producing activities, naturally my income is way higher than it was, at the point in time to where I wasn't doing my whole entire day with income producing activities. And it's very uncomfortable, and you have to make it a habit. But once you make it a habit, then it's just what you do, and you can never go back. Like, I'm sure all y'all can agree that y'all not ever going back to what y'all were doing prior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know you, Mir, you really like Lamont. You worked with me in person before when I was back in Cali. Now we out here in ATL. Roner, you came out like about a month ago when you first started. It came out. You know what I'm saying? We got some work in. But Mir, this is your first time like really coming out and kind of seeing what this shit looks like in person. You know what I'm saying? What it's like to work. The standard that we hold ourselves to every single day. So going back home for a little bit before you come back out in January, what's just like the new mindset that you have towards this, and just how do you think, how do you feel now that you did think and feel, you know what I'm saying, before you end up coming out here and working?
Yeah, so before I came out here, like everything with me, like I got a good head on my shoulders. I'm smart. I pick up things fast. So it was really more of a consistency thing, a discipline thing with me. Like for example, in this business, you got to be able to hear no. It's all energy based. So like, for example, I would hear a couple of no's, get discouraged, get off the calls, hop in my bed and just waste time. Look at the chat. I'm seeing people close deals. I'm like, man, like that could be me, but it's just like I had nobody to hold me accountable for real. So when I come out to the office and I'm around all these people with like mindsets and everybody got the same goal in mind and everybody's just motivating each other, encouraging each other to do the same things, like you don't want to feel left out with that. So it builds you to be a better person, you're held accountable, you're motivated, and the results show.
Real shit, real shit. And so going back to Buffalo for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? What is you about to be doing out there? Work wise, it's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Why is it gonna be that way?
Yeah, so we going back to Buffalo for the holidays, of course. Spend a little time with my family, my little brother, and things like that. But none of that planned stuff how it was before. Cause like once you do something, when you see the results, it's hard to go back. So when I go back, strict schedule before the holidays. I'm dialing on Christmas Eve, maybe even on Christmas shoot. But I'm gonna be on a strict schedule, still doing the same thing I'm doing out here, and I'm still gonna see the same results that I'm seeing out here. It's that simple. I can never go back to the same thing I was doing back then because it's like they ain't get me nowhere. So look where I'm at. I came out here on a one-way ticket. I made all the money back plus more. I had a good week last week. I'm on pace for a good week this week. Hopefully we hit 10K, but I'm never going back to how I was before. It's not happening.
Type shit. And you know what I'm saying? One thing I can respect is betting on yourself and putting yourself in that position. You know, again, Shamir got a one-way ticket to come work out here in Atlanta, put all his eggs in one basket, literally, and you know, gave himself no choice but to win. Like, you know, you're always gonna work the best when you put your back against the wall, and that's like always, you know, when you're gonna find out what type of person that you really are. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about making this type of money, you know what I'm saying, putting yourself in this position to learn a high income skill set like this is really gonna test you. Like that's why I don't like courses and why mentorship is so important. And you know what I'm saying? Because I was mentored personally, you know, I have been by my mentor for the past 2 years and will continue to be. But it's not a one day thing. It's like it's literally just day after day stacking up the wins, building the momentum, and becoming the person that, you know what I'm saying, ultimately that you need to be. But when you got your back against the wall, when you put your all into it, 2 feet in, no feet out, that's when you're gonna find out what type of person you are. Because like you guys hear the saying all the time, pressure either bursts pipes or, you know what I'm saying, it makes diamonds. You know what I'm saying? And so when you got your feet over fire, you know what I'm saying, when it feels like everything is about to go downhill and you take the risk and you bet on you, that's when you're gonna find out if you're really made for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I know all you kind of feel that. And the fact that you put yourself in that position and were able to overcome it, now, you know what I'm saying, you're that person that you are. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a different type of person to be into this business and be successful. Because again, right? Like if you're making 10K a month in the US, especially as a young, you know, 19, 20, 21 year old, you're top like shit, 2%. You know what I'm saying? That shit is not common. Social media makes it seem like it's common. That shit is not common. So in order to get there, you got to do uncommon things. It's simple, you know. But I know you talked about how over back at home, when you're hearing no on the phones, it really kind of demotivated you. You didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? You would get off. It would make you get in your head. I feel like one person that, you know, kind of like that was Sihan when you guys started off. So what is your mindset towards no now? And like just when you're dialing, you know, you close 1 to 3 deals every single day consistently. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear no, what is your mindset on that? And how is that different from what it was, you know, at one point in time before you became a real closer?
Yeah, when I hear no, I don't really take it heavy at all. I just move on to the like next call and just treat it as a new opportunity. I always make sure that I want to give each client the same energy because they all deserve the high energy and you know someone that actually cares for them and wants to get them something that makes sense for them. So I don't really take it personally. I just you know move on to the next and make sure that I keep my mind and myself um, just really determined to get at least one deal a day. But prior to that, my mindset, like I would hear no and it would just kind of like, you know, burst my confidence to the max and it would just make me feel like every deal or every call that I would get after that would just be a no. And I changed. Like it's not always gonna be like that. You're gonna hear a million no's and that one yes is gonna make it all worth it. So yeah.
Facts. That's a good condition. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Shamir, you freaking down all day. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get none of me. You heard that? Yes. Oh yeah, I'm smooth. You know what I'm saying? I got that deal pushed out. So that's the beauty of commission. It's all, just a mindset thing, right? Every single no is one step closer to a yes. And once you get that yes, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna feel on the poppy every single time. Especially with commissions, the type of business that we're in, ranging between $300 to $3,000. Like when you get that yes, it's literally no reason to be mad. Bills to pay, you know what I'm saying? You smooth. Mindset is right, skill set is getting better, and just the accumulation of that every single day really does make this business exciting. I know that all of us here, we're making Atlanta the hub. We all getting out here. Y'all came out here from y'all states, took flights on one ways, you know what I'm saying, for 2 weeks to really bet on yourself. And now you coming back after the holidays with your families, locking in for a month and, getting your cribs and stuff out here. So, Shamir, we'll start with you, bro. Like, what's your main goal for yourself, you know, that you need to have by March? And, what can we expect from you moving forward in the future?
Yeah, so by March, I will be living out here, nice apartment, it'll be comfortable. I had a car I want, be bringing in easily 35 to 40K, and I really want to focus on building a team for real, for real. But not only that, I want to focus on becoming a better person, waking up early, staying on a strict schedule, eating right, because at the end of the day, it's not all about money. People come into this business, they think it's all about money, they get the money, they do what they want with the money, and then they don't reinvest into their business, and then that's when everything go wrong. So I'm really thinking ahead, thinking about the future. I just want to become the best person I can with this, and rise to the top for real, go crazy.
We'll talk bits and more. Try to look forward to that. I know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Just stay motivated. And it's only going to be a matter of time. For you, Mom, shit, March coming up soon. So what's your personal goals for yourself? Some non-negotiables, and what can we expect?
Personal goals, you know what I'm saying? Come out here, first thing first, get a crib, make sure I'm living comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make sure every day that I'm learning, I'm gaining, you know what I'm saying, momentum every single day, even at the highest points. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Maximizing my skill set, and once we get out here, we all gonna start getting our money and stuff, get our cribs, whips. You know what I'm saying? Like Mir said, you know what I'm saying, work on ourselves every day too. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be important. Invest back into the business. You invest back into your business of stuff like this, you're gonna get more money out of it. You just gotta look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? People be stingy with their money, and when you're an entrepreneur, you're still making a lot of money to get to yourself. But you know what I'm saying, you gotta put in money to get out. And it's just gonna be all worth it at the end. So that's what it's gonna look like for me.
Okay, actually, like I said, same for you, bro. I'm excited for what's to come. You're coming from Cali to Atlanta, so that's far. That's a fucking 4 or 5 hour flight. So you already know that this ain't you out here, bro. It ain't nothing but work. But it's only a matter of time. Just getting out here, being consistent, building up that skill set, you're gonna be smooth. And what about you, What's your goals, for yourself by March, and what can we expect from you?
Definitely being out here, living out here, consistently writing, 40, 30K minimum a month, and having a team and not being the same person as I am right now, just being a whole better person, while having 5 to 10 people under me, guiding them, becoming a true leader, and, just helping people around me, like you're doing right now, just helping people around you, becoming a better person, helping them become a better person as well.
Yes, I don't want to say more. I'm excited to see that, bro. You got the right mindset. For those of you, I know everybody in here wants to build a sales team, and for those of you who are watching that want to build a sales team, the biggest thing and the best thing that you can do for your team is simply by leading from the front, and just making sure that you're putting money in the pockets of the people on your team, because if they eat, naturally you're going to eat, you know what I mean? But you also got to be the carbon copy of, what it takes to win. Like the reason why I'm so proficient at sales at this point, because, I learned and I mimicked and, I added my own sauce to the blueprint that my mentor laid down, you know what I'm saying? And the same way everybody in here, you guys, can say the same. You guys kind of seen, especially that first week you guys came out here when I really showed y'all, kind of gave y'all examples of, what it really takes to become a top producer. Y'all mimicked it, finding your own flow, adding your own sauce, you know what I'm saying? And, just really just becoming that carbon copy of the blueprint that we know that works, right? But also, like you guys were saying, it's a lot more than just making money. Like I know we all got athletic backgrounds, we're big on health, working out, eating right, making sure our bodies are straight, of course making money. But it's one thing to make money, but it's also, one thing to understand finances. So like credit, you know what I mean? Understanding how to separate you from your business, right? So like you literally hear everybody in here talking about, they're going to reinvest into the business and they're not stingy investing into the business. And that's because, my mentor is the exact same way. I'm the exact same way. We aren't going to be stingy with investing into our business because our business is our baby, right? Having a business and not investing into your business and being scared to invest into your business is like having a kid and not feeding your kid, right? How can you expect for it to nurture? How can you expect for it to grow if you're not feeding it? Money is a tool, and money is a tool that can make you more money, when you have the right business model, of course, but when you really understand it, right? So again, sales is all opportunity based. So, we're constantly, we're making sure that we're buying leads. We have inbound phone calls. We're making sure that we buy inbound phone calls so people can call us directly, by what we sell, which is life insurance. But the fact that we're doing that consistently and we have that mindset allows for us to always have, returning money coming back in because we've thrown it out. We know it's going to come back because we're just giving ourselves opportunity. You know what I mean? So if you want to get into something like this, again, closersplaybook.net, link in bio to join the team to see if you qualify for it. And then you got to understand that, this is a business at the end of the day. You and your business are two separate things, right? If we close a deal, we make a commission. That isn't all ours, right? That isn't. We got to make sure that we're feeding our business, we're buying our leads. We got to make sure that, we're feeding our business, we're investing, into scaling. If you want to take it to a whole different level, you can't just take every single commission, every single deposit and, think that it's just for you. So that's why with every deposit, we have splits, we have multiple bank accounts. So we dedicate, things towards our bills, towards, our leads, towards our savings, towards our regular spend account. You know what I mean? So these are all things that you will learn, when you're working with somebody that, knows what they're doing at the end of the day. But I know for you, Sihan, shit, March coming up soon. You've been doing good. These past couple of months, really pushing, really getting a lot of production, and being able to train and teach people how to do the same thing. So, what would you say your goals are for yourself by March? What can we expect to see from you?
I definitely will continue to produce at a high clip, but I also want to be able to mentor and teach people to do the exact same thing. I think this business is a really great opportunity. It can change anyone's life, and so I definitely want to be able to help do that for people. And like Wilner said, you're a great mentor and you really hold people accountable. So I hope that I can have that much passion into my business as much as you are. Because I don't think anyone is as passionate as you are, really, when it comes to this business. So that's my goal for real, is really just to be that passionate and invest in myself and in like the business.
I mean, without a doubt, it's possible. Kind of like what you said, being passionate about the business. Like, again, right, I treat my business like my baby. So naturally, I gotta make sure my baby is nurtured. I gotta make sure that my baby is growing. And, at the end of the day, I know that nobody's gonna care about my business more than me. And that's exactly how you guys have to be about your own business, right? Like, nobody can care about your business more than you because if somebody cares about your business more than you, then your business is at risk. Like, your child might get kidnapped, you know what I mean? But that's just like the mindset that you gotta have, with this business is like a vehicle to get to where you wanna go. Like, nobody ever woke up and said, I want to be a life insurance agent, when I get older. Like, I didn't even know you can make this much money from this shit until 2 years ago. And then when I found out, shit, I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you guys all for watching the video. If you guys want to join the team, be able to do what we're doing, click the link in the bio, closersplaybook.net, and then we'll get back to you to see if you qualify and everything like that. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment if you got any questions, we'll get back to you. And of course, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next video.